Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna show you how to make Italian pesto like an Italian grandmother would, like my Nana taught me how to make. People make pesto all the time by dumping all their ingredients into a blender. You get your basil, your cheese, your pine nuts, your garlic, your olive oil. It tastes good that way, but it doesn't taste as good as it does when you chop it with your hand. It gets pasty in the blender. So when you chop everything up by hand, you're getting the different textures and the different flavors, and it's so elevated. Just trust me on this. You're gonna extend the time that it takes to make the pesto by 15 minutes, but it's fun to get in there, turn on some music, drink some wine. Speaking of wine, I'm a sommelier, so obviously I always incorporate wine with my food. Today I am pouring a glass of this Corsica white wine blend. It pairs perfectly with this pesto because it's like the lemon, it like pulls out the flavors, the acidity pulls out the flavors of the basil and the garlic. This wine's under $20 and it's called I Prove. This is a very simple thing to do, but you do it in stages. So you're gonna have a big handful of basil leaves. The most flavorful leaves are the baby leaves, the smaller leaves that aren't fully developed yet. They have the most flavor. Obviously, you can use the bigger leaves too, incorporate them in. If you can't find them, it's fine. So you get a big handful of your basil leaves, you get a big handful of pine nuts, but you just wanna lightly toast them to a goldeny texture. And they taste so much better that way. It just brings out all of their flavors. I put about 4 cloves of garlic. I like it extra garlicky. I add pecorino romano. So I do pecorino and Parmesan. I do about 3/4 Parmesan and a little more pecorino. I like the blend. The pecorino's a little saltier, it gives it a little extra something. I also like to make sure I'm using a good quality olive oil from Italy because this is Italian pesto. So I'm gonna take some of my garlic and I'm gonna take a handful of my basil, and you're just gonna squeeze it up and start chopping. So I was in Sicily for 6 weeks actually, and I made my pesto over there. Proper Sicilians in Sicily kept asking me to make the pesto for dinners each night, so I felt proud. Now I have about 1/3 of my basil left. I'm gonna start incorporating the pine nuts. Grab some of your pine nuts. You know, you gotta feel it out and see if you like more pine nuts, less pine nuts. You can also make this with walnuts, toasted walnuts, for a different twist on it. If you aren't using it right away, if you're just making it a day ahead or a couple hours ahead, you can drizzle it a little bit with olive oil so it doesn't get too soggy. Cover it and put it in a bowl in the fridge, and when you're ready to use it, that's when you'll incorporate more olive oil till you get it to the consistency that you want it to be. I wouldn't add any salt. Some people put a little salt. I'm gonna put a little ground pepper to mine because I like a little kick. Another nice thing to do is just a little squeeze of lemon right when you put it in the bowl at the end. Lemon always brings out the flavor of everything. I'm gonna start dumping in some Parmesan and then chopping it up. You wanna make sure you get fresh grated Parmesan. You wanna get the chunk and grate it yourself. When you get it to the place where it's starting to be able to be formed, chop a little more. I'm gonna form this into my little square little cake. I am going to scoop the cake into a bowl. Now that you've got that all in there, you're gonna take your olive oil, give it a nice drizzle. I'm gonna take a little tiny squeeze of lemon. If I'm using it right away, get some more olive oil. I'm gonna mix this up. You'll start to see when the olive oil is involved that it's gonna come together in a paste. If it's not coming together the way you want, dump it back down, chop it up some more. Here is some gorgeous, beautiful Italian Nana style pesto. Now it's time for my favorite part. Let's try it. It is so garlicky and citrusy and salty and fresh. I can't even tell you how worth it is to make your own pesto at home like a proper Sicilian Nana would do. Anyway, don't forget to sip on some wine. And join me next time. Ciao for now.